It's time for the weekly rant. It's time for the weekly rant. It's time for the weekly, time for the weekly, time for the weekly rant. Oh, it's time for the weekly, time for the weekly, time for the weekly rant. See, I make my own music and sound effects. Y'all don't know me. I'm from Roberts Avenue, Tallahassee, Florida. You don't know me. So this past week, we've seen conversation between Michael Rapaport and Kevin Durant get taken public. And I'm putting both these guys in the rant because they both wilding. They both wild. So let's read. And well, before I get into it, let's read. So Kevin Durant was fined by the National Basketball Association on Friday over social media message he exchanged with comic actor Michael Rapaport. The fine total was $50,000 according to the league. Durant was fined for using offensive and derogatory language, according to a statement from the league, which noted the NBA star not acknowledged his actions were inappropriate, and he did come out and make a statement. Durant on Thursday addressed the message he is accused of sending to Michael Rapaport, which reportedly included threatening language and anti-gay and misogynistic slurs after the actor mocked him over social media. I'm sorry that people seeing that language I use. Durant told reporters that's not really what I want people to see and hear from me, but hopefully I can move past it and get back out there on the floor. Brooklyn Nets coach Steve Nash told reporters that the organization had a conversation with Durant about the league, about the language used in the exchange with Rapaport. Durant has been sidelined since injuring his hamstring in February. Rapaport has appeared in several films. Rapaport, via a video posted on social media after the fine news broke, said the situation had gotten out of hand. He added that he and Durant had previously met but were not friends, and he was bothered by what he felt were threats. You live and you learn, Rapaport said. I know I have lived and learned from this situation, and I have to deal with the ramifications that I keep to myself. And I know he has, and I feel bad about it, but it is what it is, and we have to move forward. So first, I want to address Kevin Durant. Then I'm getting Michael Rapaport's ass, because Michael Rapaport is a known agitator, is a known instigator, and Michael Rapaport be talking cash shit. And Michael Rapaport is one of the people who can give it, but apparently can't take it. KD, bro, you got to stop. You got to stop allowing people to push your buttons. You got to stop. People shouldn't know how easy it is to get you riled up. You got to have more self-control. You got to have more of that, KD, because people know that you're sensitive, and people push your buttons. I don't know the context of the whole conversation with Durant and Rapaport. I haven't gotten that, but according to both sides, Durant acknowledged that he said some things that he probably shouldn't have said, and Rapaport has acknowledged that it gotten out of hand. But my thing for Rapaport is, well, why did you make it public? And I'm guessing he's saying he made it public because he felt because of the physical threats that were made by Durant. I'm just saying, but I've heard Michael Rapaport talk some big shit. Big shit. See, Michael Rapaport is loose with his mouth. And Michael Rapaport is also one of those outsiders who's gotten real comfortable within our community, which is our fault because we allowed him to get real comfortable within the community. But at the same time, that's no excuse for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has got to be more tactful and more cautious and have more control over himself and what he says. You can't allow people to bring you to these situations. And this is coming from somebody who loves to cuss people out. I love to go off on people. But I'm not going to allow you to push me to this level, especially somebody in the position of Kevin Durant, and especially in that medium that they're using, because nowadays anything that is said is it can be subjected to be taken into public, right? And that's what happened in this situation. A private conversation that was taken public by Michael Rapaport. And so a lot of people are looking at Michael Rapaport as if he's a snitch and a rat. Now, I don't know exactly what the exact threat was Durant made toward Rapaport, but I do know that Rapaport comes off as if he's the down white guy who's street, who got the streets in him, and the streets is with him. And usually, when you're coming from that vein or that position, it's more like it is what it is, and we can handle this in the streets. So it was surprising to see that Michael Rapaport kind of tell on Durant and say, "Hey, everybody, look at what Kevin Durant said to me," instead of kind of keeping it between them two, because they're both grown men. At the end of the day, they're both grown men, and if they're both grown enough to start it, they're grown enough to end it, to finish it, to be civil about it, right? They're grown men. At the end of the day, they're both grown men. They're both grown men. And once a year, we find Kevin Durant in a situation where his mouth and his feelings have gotten him in trouble or gotten some controversy around him, per se. And now he's $50,000 less because of this exchange with Michael Rapaport, which it seems like it's some soft ass shit on both ends. Like, how did it really get to this situation? If y'all don't know each other like that, and if Rapaport sent Durant something, they don't know each other like that. Hey man, ignore his ass or put him out. Or people probably should start giving Michael Rapaport a taste of his own medicine, because he be saying sideways shit all the time. Now, how left does it go? The stuff he say, I don't know. I don't follow Rapaport like that. But I know I've been watching Rapaport long enough to know that Michael Rapaport says some wild stuff. And many I've been watching the whole week. There have been plenty of people who friends of Michael Rapaport who say he'll say some left field stuff to you. And you got to kind of collect yourself. So there's no secret that Michael Rapaport talked to folk like that. He talks reckless to people. And he talked reckless to Durant. And it was happening in I guess Instagram messages and the DMs. And Durant said something. I'm guessing he got nervous and wanted to tell the whole world about it. And they both look silly in this. They both do. I would love for Kevin Durant to just have a little more self control. I don't have a problem with going off on people and letting people have it, but in certain situations, because this to me seems like Rapaport baited him into something and set him up, and now look at where we are. Kevin Durant is fined $50,000 by the NBA. The black community should fine Michael Rapaport $50,000 to get that money up out of him for what he did, what he's doing, what he said, stuff he said in the past. They should fine him $50,000 for playing the character of Remy in Higher Learning, and then playing a racist and killing Tyra Banks. You should get fined $50,000 for that, Michael Rapaport, for all the reckless stuff you done said. But at the same time, at the end of the day, though, Kevin Durant still have to have a better self control over himself and what he says. Can't Nobody can push you to a point. You have to allow yourself to go to that point. So that's what I want from KD, because now people are going to look at him as if he has hate speech within him. When the truth is, every human being talk reckless. Every human being talks reckless. Every one of us. And I hate that people try to make it seem like some people have more pristine conversation or more pristine ways of getting things out than others. I've seen people from all types of backgrounds say some foul shit to people, do foul shit to people, right? So I'm not promoting bad stuff and foul stuff, but what I am saying is I don't like when people try to act like they are holier than thou. So media people, social media people, people in the public, I would never say stuff like that. Yes, you would. And you've said it in the past. Because we're already in the midst of this cancel culture. When you say something and people get offended, you're supposed to get canceled. If you said something 20, 15 years ago, you're supposed to get canceled. This is a society who doesn't allow people to grow, even though they want you to allow them to grow, but they won't allow you to grow. So this is the atmosphere that we're in, and that we'll find ourselves in with Kevin Durant and Michael Rapaport. And they're at this particular junction at both of their lives. And Kevin Durant don't need Michael Rapaport. Michael Rapaport right now, I don't know what he's been doing in life, but Kevin Durant don't need him. He don't have to have no conversation with Michael Rapaport. It'll benefit Michael Rapaport more to be in the presence of Kevin Durant than the opposite. So that's what it is, man. Hey, I I, I I'm not gonna say I feel for Durant, but I do want Durant to have more restraint on his emotions and what he says, so he won't get himself caught up in these situations. And I want Michael Rapaport to do the same thing. Both of you, gentlemen, be adults. Michael Rapaport have control over your mouth. But like I said, people have allowed Michael Rapaport to talk reckless, especially to us in our community for so long. He's comfortable with it. So it's gonna be hard to rein him in now because you didn't let him run reckless. He should have been checked a long time ago. But here we are. And because he can identify with a lot of the art that comes out of the culture, he gets a pass. All right. Well, here we are. Here we are. Here we are.